In 1968, a scientist built a perfect world. No predators, no disease, unlimited food, unlimited water, infinite space to grow. He filled it with mice. Within 2 years, they were all dead. Not from starvation, not from war, not from any virus. They died from something else, something with no name back then. And the strangest part? The dying didn't start when things got worse. It started when everything got perfect. His name was John B. Calhoun, and his question was simple. What happens to a society when it finally gets everything it wants? So he built a box. He called it Universe 25. Steel walls, climate-controlled, endless food dispensers. Enough space, enough resources for over 3,000 mice to live in comfort. He placed in 8, 4 males, 4 females, and then he waited. At first, paradise. The population exploded, doubling every 55 days. New generations born into abundance their ancestors could never have imagined. No fear, no hunger, no death from the outside world. For the mice, this was utopia. But then something strange happened. Around day 315, the growth started slowing. Not because they ran out of food. There was still plenty of food. They were running out of something else, something you can't put in a dispenser. Roles. In the wild, mice have jobs, they defend territory, they raise young, they struggle, and that struggle gives them identity. But in Universe 25, there was nothing left to struggle for. The strong had nothing to protect. The young had nowhere to go. Every social position that gave a mouse purpose was already filled, and this is where it gets disturbing. Calhoun watched males give up, not physically, psychologically. They stopped defending territory, stopped fighting, stopped mating. They withdrew into corners of the box and did nothing but eat, sleep, and groom themselves obsessively. Calhoun gave them a name, the beautiful ones, because they were flawless, perfect fur, no scars, no wounds, and utterly, completely empty. They had never fought, never mated, never raised a single pup. They simply existed. Meanwhile, violence exploded elsewhere in the colony. Unprovoked attacks, cannibalism, mothers abandoning their young, or killing them outright. In a world with zero threats, the mice invented their own, and almost nobody talks about this part. The population didn't collapse because resources ran out, it collapsed because meaning ran out. Calhoun called it the behavioral sink, a place where social structure disintegrates not from scarcity, but from a total absence of struggle. Let that sit for a second. These mice had everything humans spend their entire lives chasing: safety, comfort, food, shelter. No war, no death by predator, no disease, and it killed them faster than any famine ever could. By day 600, births had stopped completely. Not one new pup was successfully raised. The last generation, born into total abundance, never learned how to mate, defend, or nurture. They'd never seen it modeled. There was nothing left to imitate. They didn't know how to be mice anymore. Population peaked at just over 2,200, a fraction of the box's capacity. And then it began an irreversible decline. By 1973, Universe 25 was empty. Every single mouse dead. Not from war, not from famine, from the absence of anything worth living for. Here's the part that should unsettle you. This video was never really about mice. Calhoun didn't build Universe 25 to study them. He built it to hold up a mirror, because somewhere in the last 100 years, humanity has been building its own version of the box. We call it comfort. We call it convenience. We call it progress. Fewer predators, fewer wars, and for most of us, food delivered in minutes, entertainment infinite, connection outsourced to a screen. We solved scarcity, but did we replace what scarcity used to give us? Purpose, struggle, roles that made us necessary to someone? Look around. Isolation is rising in the most connected era in history. Birth rates are falling in the wealthiest nations on Earth. Young people are more anxious, more lonely, more untethered than at almost any point on record. Not despite abundance, because of it. We are, in some strange and terrifying way, becoming beautiful ones, groomed, comfortable, safe, and quietly disappearing. Calhoun didn't think abundance was the enemy. He thought the enemy was what abundance takes away, and the friction, the roles, the reasons to reach for something outside yourself. Maybe meaning was never found in comfort at all. Maybe it was always hiding in the struggle we've spent our entire species trying to escape. So here's the question. Universe 25 leaves behind, echoing in an empty steel box that once held thousands of lives. If you were given everything you ever wanted, would you still find a reason to want anything at all?